Welcome, everybody, to another exciting episode. We have with us a very special guest who I grew up watching. No, when I got into the community, I was watching the Wake Up. I was watching the Wake Up show on the Discord
Wake Up
Syndicate.
HEX. Yes.
Sorry, I had a window open, but yeah, I grew up on the Wake Up HEX show with Papa Boner. Wales Only was a regular.
Yes.
And obviously DJ Cryptomatic. So when I saw you in the chat, I had to get you on. So DJ Cryptomatic, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm sorry, you have to endure me with my suit and shirt on because I'm streaming in from my office. See, I'm one of these old hexicans that haven't retired yet, so I'm still grinding, in my day job, and so I'm streaming from my office, but I could make some time. So I'm very happy to be here. I'm on the Furu Finance show, man. I hit the big time now. This is nice. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, pleasure. And I used to wear the suit every single time. I don't know if you saw any of my older videos. I used to wear the suit. I felt like it would be cool to have that like Wall Street vibe and HEX, but like it was just so annoying every time I had to put the suit on and tie the tie. I'm just like, I'm no suit, but you don't have to apologize. I probably should be wearing a suit. And a lot of people
that's
don't
actually
like
what I like about you, because you always come here. We are like that's always a bit of a dispute also in HEX. If I think back, should we be more corporate and more legit, because this is still finance that we're talking, or should we not be? And I'm always thinking, because I'm one of the corporate guys, like, and then we also have this thing with on the Wake Up HEX. That's more the show where we come clean shaven and we put on a shirt and we try to be presentable, and that's what I immediately caught my eye when I started watching your show. It's like I like a man that at least makes an effort. You come there not all scruffy, but like with a put on a shirt, but what got us there is what got us to the 50 cent all-time highs is really the pirate approach. It's not being corporate, and it's not being bankers, and it's not being, it was community and being a bit edgy, being a bit revolutionary. So I wouldn't knock, I wouldn't knock the pirate approach, because I think that's what got us, played a big part in HEX's success, I think.
Yeah, it was. I said it was the ragtag army. It was like it was like Richard Hart in his what was the story? It's like the Alamo. That's what it was like.
Yeah,
it was just like a bunch of people are just like, that's it. We're gonna go and we're gonna defend this. Yeah. And it really materialized into something so much more.
So much more, yes. And a bunch of people that had similar experiences. Me, myself, I came in crypto in late 2016, 2017. So I've been through all the, what's it called with the, I've lost the name even now. The hey.
Oh,
what's the scam? Big Connect, exactly. So
you were in there?
No, I wasn't. Because everybody said at the time it's a scam, so I didn't go into it. And sure enough, it was a scam. That's funny.
Everyone said something else was a scam, and I didn't go into it.
Yeah, that's yes. But all the even all the Furus, as we call them in HEX, at the time, they many of them shilled. Did not shield BitConnect, and it's still was successful, but then imploded. So no, I wasn't in that, but I think some of the early Hexicans were many that got burned by that experience, and that's also what forged, I think, our trust initially in HEX. So yeah, it's this ragtag, the pirate. I call it the pirate approach.
RG3.
And that can and that can also work. It doesn't need to be all corporate and.
Yeah, I think it's good that everyone does their thing. Everyone is them, and then different people could follow who appeals to them most. So like, I'm not even trying to be corporate. It's just kind of who I am, I guess. I'm less of the I don't know. And I do personally think that it's good for me to be professional, because the professional people have a lot of money. But no, there's other people that other vibes appeal to. different, more, and I guess the diversity, so to speak, is very good. It could really relate to like a very broad spectrum, especially at that point. So there's no reason to apologize for the suit.
Yes,
I think the suit is amazing. I think the suit, no, it really is. It brings in a certain type of demographic, and that demographic happens to be a very wealthy demographic.
But you say a very important thing. It's like this diversity. Like me, I'm more when I'm streaming from my music studio, where I'm the DJ guy with the t-shirt on, and so it's a bit of a different persona. But and then your channel grew very fast on YouTube. So I think then there's Johnny Chaos, who streams from his workshop, and like there are RG3. Like we have these many different personas and characters, and like even though our message, I think, with the t-shirts and staking and delay gratification, that is really the same, but different people need to hear it from different people. Like for me, for example, with the t-shirts in that first year, it took me 1 year to really understand the power of t-shirts or what that actually means. And it took a couple of streams with Kareem, Kareem the Dream, explaining the power of t-shirts for me to like click that light bulb. And all the other people that I was watching before, that knowledge didn't come through. So it's hard to pinpoint what that actually takes, but I think different people need to hear it from different people. So we all have our audience, but together it builds one big thing. That's kind of how I like to look at it.
Yeah, exactly. And for you, it took a year, but it took me a lot less, because by the time I came in, there were so many people that were doing like videos about the t-shirts because like you guys had to kind of figure it out yourself.
Yes.
I guess just like walk us back a little bit, take us down memory lane, because a lot of people that watch my show, and a lot of people just coming in are new. There's just so many onboards every day. So it'd be great to hear it from you.
My HEX story. I mean, I've been on my crypto story. If you have some time, I've been.
I got time, as long as you have time.
I've been introduced to Bitcoin fairly early, already in around 2012, 2013. But I didn't get in at the time. I wasn't sold on the concept. Like I'm also part of this other internet subculture that's called the demo scene. I don't know if you've ever heard of that. It's like spawning of the 80s and 90s home computer, where back then people were copying computer games on the schoolyard, and there were
burning the CDs.
Yeah, burning the CDs. That's the illegal side of it. But there's also an artistic side of it, because all these different groups that were doing that, they were organized in groups, in demo groups. That's the name of that. And every time, this is about bragging rights. It's like graffiti tagging. It's like, we brought this game first to this underground black market, and then at the beginning before the game actually starts, they would have a little like a graffiti thing with their group tag and a music to it. And out of that became a whole artistic culture about creating computer graphics, creating music with the home computers, etc. And that is still around today. And eventually those two split ways into the pirate scene of pirating software, and then the legal wing of that, where it's all about the artistry and creating art with computers. And I was very much involved in this. And since this is close to computers and games, many in this area were involved in cryptocurrency very early on. Actually, one of my claim to fame is that I sat with Vitalik from Ethereum at one of these conventions about the computer arts at the same table with our laptops. Wow. But I didn't know who he was back then. So,
was he Vitalik back then, or was before he was Vitalik?
Sorry, no, that was way before he was Vitalik, but it was him. So, wow. And I had a friend who was in that, and there are meetups a couple of times a year, and it's very much Europe centered, that movement. And there was a guy who was, like Richard always kept saying I was mining Bitcoin on my own laptop, and he was doing exactly that. He was mining it with his graphic card, and he introduced me to Bitcoin. And he showed me, this is how you mine, and then he had a link to Mt. Gox. This is how you can trade and sell it. But back then I wasn't really sold on the idea. I thought this is rubbish. This is a scam. This will never take off. And I'm not putting my hard-earned savings into this. What a mistake, right? So I let that slide, and then only rediscovered it, thank God, a bit later, a couple of years down, when I was dabbling in Forex trading, because I wanted to learn. I wanted to increase my financial literacy. I wanted to invest in something, because I seen that whole .com bubble let me pass. I seen the success of Microsoft and Google pass. I saw it, but I didn't invest in it at the time. And then in 2016-17, Bitcoin had another big run, another craze. And I thought, all right, I will not miss it this time. And then took a heart to investing and tried really my best and got into crypto and started in 2017. Really, I had some savings at the time, and then did all the mistakes initially that everybody can do, listening to the wrong people. I invested in outright scam ICOs. I got hacked on my Ethereum wallet for some of my ICO tokens, because I didn't know what a hardware wallet was. I got the Cryptopia exchange. I had some coins on that in New Zealand, and that whole exchange got hacked, so I lost a lot of coins in that. And like all the mistakes that one shouldn't do, and that it's kind of, I feel, our responsibility, because I know you do your courses, and I hope you're telling people about the importance of hardware wallets.
Of course.
That's the stuff that we can, I think, have a responsibility of saving new people coming in, that they don't fall into these initial traps. And then it's this whole, what Wales Only calls the promise coin space.
Yeah. Wait, is it true he coined Furu?
He did, yeah. That's his.
I did not know that one.
One of the questions I wanted to ask you: why are you called the Furu Finance, when that's kind of a bad name that Wales Only kind of?
Yeah. We'll get into that. I didn't even realize it came out of HEX. I thought it was just something that HEX used, but yeah, I'm sorry.
No, it's because it's like guru, but fake guru. So he coined that Furu, I believe that's prominently coming from him.
Shout out to him.
Absolutely.
I appreciate you. You made my career.
No, he's awesome.
I hope he's
awesome. But he can't do as much streaming anymore as he used to, because during the pandemic he was all from the home office, and he could work it better with his time, and now he has to be back in the office like everybody else. So it's with a family and all, it's getting harder for him to find time for streaming, but he still does streams every now and then. So I did all these mistakes, and then also in 2017, thank God, I gotten to know about or heard about Richard Hart very, very early. I actually saw him when he was streaming into the Max Kaiser show, which aired on Russia Today, when it was all about Bitcoin and Bitcoin.
Ethereum's a scam. It's all scam.
Ethereum and IOTA, the famous IOTA rant, how it's all a scam. And I actually saw him there the first time on the Max Kaiser show as an interview guest, and with a top hat on. And I thought, who is this guy? And I hadn't heard anything about him before, and then I researched and found him on YouTube. And then he had these classic streams in the beginning where he was shitting all over certain altcoins and how it's all just terrible, and that's kind of got to, I thought, oh, this is interesting, obviously very intelligent, but also super entertaining, how he can dismantle something if he's not behind it. And so I really followed him since then. And then, of course, when the whole idea about HEX came to play, then of course I had wind of that, because I was watching all his streams, and I knew whatever this guy will come out with one day, I will definitely invest in it. And thank God I did. And so I really, day one Hexagon, and I've been there with the seeing the community grow. Before there even was a community, was all on Telegram.
You made the community
in this one chat room, and I only started streaming myself after Big Payday, so that's it's also 2 years ago now. But in that first year, I was more active on Telegram, really helping people coming in with questions, and how it was also this Bitcoin free claiming and how they work that and sign the message, like really being a bit of a support assistant in the main Telegram, and fudding, of course, arguing with haters. So that was kind of my job in that first year. And then after Big Payday, it's really Johnny Chaos. He said, hey, we need more streamers. We need to increase our reach on social media. We need more outbound messaging. And he made the call, and that call still stands today. It's like, whatever you're good at, find a way to live stream about that and incorporate HEX in some point within that. And then sitting in my room, I'm thinking, I've got all this DJ equipment here, because I used to be a professional DJ in the 90s, and I used to be like a real club DJ with Friday, Saturday night residencies. And then I thought, I have all this equipment here, and I still know how to DJ. And at the time, Twitch was becoming really popular in the music section. And so I thought to myself, let's see if I can make this work. And then I actually checked with Richard if it was okay to do something like this. And since he likes DJ performances and DJ music, he was like, yeah, go for it. And the funny thing is, I expected way more backlash, because that's not really crypto. It's pure entertaining, but it's of course trying to show the HEX ecosystem and the HEX logo and the HEX, and if you watch my DJ streams, they're like repeated every 10-20 minutes chat messages about what HEX is. So it's really the idea is to show this to gamers and music enthusiasts who have nothing to do with crypto on the Twitch platform. And if you sit through an hour or so of my DJ show, and if you're being showed again and again about HEX, eventually you will click on it and see what it's like. So I thought I would get a lot more pushback from the community or haters who would be like, this is not crypto. What is this? What are you doing here? But actually, to this day, everybody loves it. Everybody likes it. I'm only getting positive feedback, and they think it's a great addition, because no other crypto community really has that presence like that in the music section on Twitch or wherever. And so that's been really my story in the community. And then of course eventually I got asked by RG3 and Kinetics if I wanted to be an official Discord syndicate streamer, and so I found a spot on the wake up shows. So I've been doing this also almost for over 1.5 years now, where we always cover what's going on in the community and cover the news, but we keep it HEX. It's really HEX centric, HEX focused. Hopefully soon Pulsechain, PulseX, and so that's really me. Sorry, this was a long ramble. I don't like when I'm passionate on something, I could just go. You have to reel me back in.
No, it was good. That was a great summary. And I'm sure everyone's liking it. We got 87 people watching, so just hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Salute to you, man. You made it happen. And this is the first of many links I'm going to share, but everyone just click that twitch.tv/DJ_Cryptomatic. Link is in the chat. So I guess so obviously there was a lot of uncertainty on the first run up, on the first bull market, before it happened. What was that like, and what was that like as the price continued to go up and up and up, and you continued to see you probably had a lot higher net worth than you could have ever imagined happening in your life. So what was that experience like for yourself and for everyone?
Which one? Because that's like my second already now. You mean the 2017, or you mean the HEX?
No, the HEX one. The HEX one.
HEX bull run.
We all know what happened with the 2017. Everyone got, wrecked.
You've been there as well, right? So
I was there, but I wasn't so involved. I just that XRP. So
because nobody sold. I know hardly anyone that sold the top.
No one really sold this one too. So
Yeah, no, I didn't either, because I believed in this. I always keep 10% of my bag liquid just in case there would ever be a correction, so that I have something to sell. So that giant correction came, but I still didn't sell. I held through this whole thing for 1.5 years, like some dumbass. But then again, maybe not, because in hindsight, this would have been like the opportunity of a lifetime to get out at the top and buy back again now. But you never know this, and that's not really what we're like promoting in HEX. It's supposed to be staked and not play the trading game. But yeah, the price action was just unbelievable. Like me coming, being in crypto like for 5-6 years, I'm always complaining this with very high supply coins like a Tron or something like that, and my expectation for HEX in 5 years was to reach 3 cents, like that is going in. So I looking at where we are today, where we've been at 55 cents, I feel totally incompetent to talk about HEX. But again,
incompetent to the upside.
But it's part of the knowledge, that you learn, because obviously it's about the liquidity and what is actually available on the market to sell. This is diamonds in the marbles that Johnny Chaos keeps talking about all the time, and that's exactly what that is. Like, in all honesty, how something like XRP, with what is that, a 4 billion supply coin?
No, they got like 30 billion.
Or 30 billion. But okay, so HEX has 650, so it's still way smaller. How that is not at $100 a coin today, that just shows me that they don't get it. So if it's only today, I just checked the liquidity before the stream. So there are 110 million HEX available right now, and that you can actually buy if you wanted to. And that puts it then in a bit of a comparison with Ethereum is 110 million. So if Ethereum is worth $1,700 a coin and HEX is worth 8 cents, I would say HEX is crazy undervalued. To put it in like kindergarten terms. So it's really about, yes, you can have 650 billion supply coin, but if it's only 100 million available to buy, anything is possible in terms of price action. But that again, it takes understanding that concept, which also something initially when people are talking about $7 HEX or something, we were saying, are you crazy? But looking at it now and the past performance, it's totally possible that it can reach that one day if the liquidity and that supply, if that is being played correctly by whoever's doing that.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that, because when I first got into crypto, the way I'd research a coin, forget white paper, forget distribution, coin market cap,
supply.
Total supply, circulating supply. It's like, is there a small circulating supply and the price is low? I'm buying. Like, it didn't matter. Yeah. And it just goes to show that you can't simplify it to that. There's bigger factors at play. Like XRP is the 30 billion against HEX 600 billion, but XRP has the 1 billion unlock every month, which is going on.
Yes,
you guys.
And they blame the OA, about, he has all these coins. In XRP, they hold half the supply, but they are actively dumping on their followers all the time. And that's why it's never going anywhere. At the same time, it has super high supply. It's listed on every exchange. And we know now that behavior, that's not positive for price. So it's like, don't hate the player, hate the game. And HEX is just plays the game way advanced and way better, I think.
Yeah.
And we can all benefit from that if we get in early.
Yeah, and even if we get in late, I think
today is still early. Yeah,
I think even if you get in late, I think you could benefit, because there's going to be higher liquidity. So even if the early people sell, and also just there's yield and things like that. But it's always better to be in early. It's better to be in Google early, right? It's better to be in Facebook early. As opposed to late, but better late than never, right? It is interesting. You said the the OA not selling, and I thought, like, forget about the community, forget about the game theory and like all the features that we know and love. Just the fact that the origin address is so benevolent, that's already enough to make it superior to pretty much every crypto, because there's always an ulterior motive, like a pre-allocation or fundraising, marketing, and things like that really destroy the price. So it is a very important thing to bring up. Johnny Chaos calls it in it for the glory, the in it for the glory metric.
Absolutely. I think that's it. And then when we had these sacrifices, many from the early HEX investors, of course, what did they sacrifice? They sacrificed HEX, which, which is a bit unfair to the OA, because the OA can never sell that, but we can. And so we put more HEX towards that side, what we believe, is holding it for eternity. And so far, the past 3 years have absolutely proved that and demonstrated that. And that manifested our trust in the OA as this, as you say, benevolent actor even further. And so that was the community call back then. Even if you brought in fresh fiat, you were supposed to buy HEX first and then move that into the sacrifice wallet.
Yeah, pump the bags and everything. Yeah, okay. So we have a lot of stuff to go through. We got some news. We got obviously the big announcement by Richard Hart and everything.
Yeah, like last night.
So let's get into that. But first, someone actually asked about it in the chat. So the Bitcoin chart, there's a huge dump, and that's because, like you mentioned in the green room, there was a lawsuit against CZ.
Yeah.
So what's your initial take on the Bitcoin chart and the lawsuit?
Being a long-term crypto veteran like that, I'm playing this off as fun. I mean, I know there were some people, tried to get a legal campaign going against Binance because of our gatekeeping on CoinMarketCap, and CoinMarketCap is owned by Binance, where we're always on page 3. And I know that it took them, I don't know, almost a year to even get a letter delivered. So they're like very hard to reach from a legal standpoint. So I don't think that there is much to it, but of course it's whale action, and whales take advantage of market sentiment, and everybody is spooked. And when something like this is coming out, everybody thinks immediately, oh my God, Binance, this will be the end of Binance. I don't think so. Also,
CZ's
when you
not
just
going
see,
anywhere.
no, he's not. And when I don't think you can even reach him like that. But Kraken just settled $30 million for the staking thing for US customers. And so why shouldn't Binance, which is even larger it's the world's largest exchange, they have, I think, more funds available than Kraken, why wouldn't they then settle as well if it really came to that? So it's a concern, but I'm not like thinking this is the end of crypto.
Yeah. No, I
no
agree.
Financial advice, no legal advice. What do I know? I just play the music. Just the observation.
Yeah, no, I'd agree. And I guess part of the reason why it even impacted the price is because there was a recent pump. Like
yeah,
that's the question. So while we're on the Bitcoin thing, like, do you think Bitcoin's bottoms in? Because I was going to say, like,
yes.
When you had, if that's a yes.
Yes, 100%. I'm
okay,
not
why?
With the Richard Hart 10K, and I've been outspoken about this. It's on my Twitter, which got deleted, but on my old
Yeah,
Twitter.
we're gonna show the Twitter's up next for the show. We
the
have the
Twitter,
Twitch. Yeah. Twitter's up next.
No, I never thought, like, my thing. I have like my own ideas there. Like, I think when you're doing TA and when you're trying Fibonacci calculations, I think black swans are unforeseeable. So for me, the real floor after the 65 or 69 double top, the real floor was 30K. And I always said Bitcoin would never go lower than 30K. But then the Terra Luna thing happened. Then the Celsius thing happened. Then what was the last one?
There were so many. FTX.
FTX, thank you. You see, so many I'm already already forgetting these. And then, so of course, when if these three entities, FTX and all of them, FTX was presented SBF as the wonder boy of crypto, you know,
the golden
if
boy.
outright criminals they are. So if these things these systems would still perform Celsius in them as advertised today, I don't think we would have gone below 30K. So to me, the real floor is 30K, and it's about time we get back to that with Bitcoin. But then you look at Richard, he made the 11 call, which is very brave, at 65K to say, okay, and he's also his explanation with the 85%, that all makes sense, but it got as low as 16K. I mean, that's good enough. So like for me, you know, that's a perfect call that he made. And I wouldn't have made that call because he may have foreseen these black swans like that. I didn't see that coming. So for me, definitely this is in unless we see another one of these, unless we see, like we just said, Binance going out of business, or, you know, the Wall Street have a total catastrophe. The banks was already, you know, a bit shaky. That could have triggered
the world.
Yeah, that could have triggered more drama, but they kind of were quick to, you know, do deals and resolve that. So yeah, I don't think I'm not a believer in this 11K thing. Also, Richard, you have to see, he's super smart, super brilliant, and we all love him, but he's also the perfect troll sometimes. Like, he doesn't want people, he wants people to stay in HEX, and he doesn't want Hexicans to trade on his Bitcoin calls or whatever. Because I remember when in 2021, when HEX had this crazy run up, then from June to September. Before that, those first 6 months of the year, HEX didn't move at all. It was very much trending sideways, I think between 1 and 5 cents, while the rest of the market had the DeFi summer. You know, Bitcoin shot up to 65K, Ethereum to 5K, you know, and he wants people to stay in HEX. You know, he doesn't want people to gamble on these other coins. That's why I think is also part that he sometimes is, I'm not saying he's fudding, but he doesn't speak positively about these other cryptos because it's his project here and he wants to protect what he has built. Yeah. I think that's my take on the Bitcoin.
No, it's a great take. And so you mentioned, it is a very good take, and I agree. I think the bottom's in, and you said TA. Like, it's funny, I draw the lines and I do TA, but I totally don't believe in TA.
I do, but crypto is a manipulated market, and that's how I got to know it. And no matter how many triangles you draw,
exactly,
there's always a whale who can totally
where in the chart are you going to see that Terra Luna's about to lose its peg? There's nowhere. So that already deems TA unreliable. If you know, also like, just a whale's personal financial situation, those things aren't baked into the chart, but it's fun. It's like astrology, you know, Ben Cohen says, dubiously speculate.
No, I think everybody in crypto should know how to read a chart, and I think it's important and to know some basic structures, but to 100% place your trades there on some of these indicators. You must be really, really good to
or really, really bad.
And work with stop losses or whatever. But that's why we're in HEX, because if you're staked, you don't need to deal, need to deal with all that.
100%. So what I said, he gives the 85% measurement down, but that the last cycle it pumped a lot more. So it would be fair to say that it would be less of a dump.
That is why I'm saying the 30K, because we didn't have the blow off top as we always had in the previous cycle. So why should we have that capitulation bottom like that? So this has been a weird kind of Bitcoin move. It has never done that with a double top. It always had a blow off situation.
And also if there's news like Voyager bankruptcy and maybe Circle's bank going under and the price pumps, like, you're oversold, like it's not good at getting any lower. We're at the point where like everyone in crypto is hardcore. Like it's already so fringe in the mainstream. Like who's gonna dump?
Yes,
unless there's like some liquidation. But
and I'm also a big believer in the rainbow chart. Actually, can you bring that up? The
rainbow
BTC. If you go to Google and type Bitcoin rainbow,
you want to share your screen? You could share your screen. We'll bring it up. Or I could do it. Actually,
if you just Google Bitcoin rainbow,
all right, I got
that should be the first thing.
Oh, regression rainbow.
Yes.
Oh, Bitcoin.
Where they added a new.
But they're always changing that.
They added a new ribbon recently to the downside, but
like,
but still,
it's like
it gives you good ideas still where we are at in the cycle.
We got it. Here we go. 111 people watching. Go hit the like and subscribe. And all the links for DJ Cryptomatic are in the description. So we have
please support
YouTube.
Me on my Twitch. All I'm
Twitch.
doing is promoting HEX. It's not about me. It's not about the glory. It's for me, at least for Richard it is, but not for
DJ
me.
Cryptomatic's in it for the glory.
No, I'm trying to get the word out because HEX has done fantastic things for me, and I wanted to do fantastic for other people as well. I'm very much selfless in this. So you see here, we're absolutely in the drags, so it can only go up. It can only go up.
We could always draw another rainbow.
But also in past cycles, you see that the halving is always in the blue. It's in the blue. It's in the blue. It's in the blue, and the top is in the red. Now we should right now be in the red. So this is like really weird. I think what's plausible is that we could see another, again, no financial advice. I'm looking at like a fake out to maybe 40, 50K, and then a return to the blue areas again for that halving. And then we start another massive run. That is kind of my idea about Bitcoin, but one can never really know for sure.
No, I like what you're saying, because people think that when you see the bottoms in, it means we're going all time. Like you could have a bottom and still have 50% corrections, 60, 70% corrections.
Yes.
The bottom's still in. So
yes. And even if it stays in that blue, it will not be lower than where we are today. So it might also be a gentle sideways, situation until the next halving. So it's definitely an interesting year to be in crypto. It's exciting to see what's happening.
Yeah, especially in HEX.
Especially in HEX.
Exactly. And speaking of HEX, we got the HEX chart. So there was like a little bit of a mini pump because of Richard's tweet yesterday, and then sold back down. Shout out to Hextronaut. He identified the wallet that's selling. But what's your take?
I know you were asking me about the HEX price action, and to be honest, I don't really know what all of this is. I was expecting, a bit disappointed. I was expecting a run up to like 18, 90 cents because we looked at liquidity for the past 2 weeks, and that is, again, you try to do TA, you try to time it, you try to figure it out, but a whale, as you can see here, and that what Hextronaut, he showed a whale wallet with 90 million liquid HEX that is getting ready to drop, that can destroy that structure. I'm also seeing a little bit of FUD with the V3, that it's transactions taking long, and some people said, I read this earlier, that the Pulsechain doesn't have all the features activated, but then in return other people say, but those features have been thoroughly tested during the V2 testnet, so they don't need to be tested now, they can just be switched on. So it's really also the FUD, I think, is not justified, but it all adds to like it's a bit crazy right now what is going on. Nobody really knows where we're moving, but then again, with these sellers, I don't understand these sellers that don't you want your double on. I mean, I held for 1.5 years now without selling because I want my double on Pulsechain. I'm not interested in selling at 10 cent, at 2 cent. No, I want my double on Pulsechain of all my stakes and whatever I have liquid, and then we'll see what is what, or maybe I restaked a lot for Quattro Cinco. I still have my day job. I'm not depending on my crypto, but that's again my situation. Everybody has a different situation. Maybe people over leverage. Maybe people have to sell. What is with Pulsechain? Maybe Pulsechain works. We don't even have to touch our HEX at all. So there is many scenarios, many question marks. But I don't know why we're doing this retrace and these capitulation wicks almost, it seems. But what's very positive is that they are immediately being bought up again. So people taking advantage of this price action.
Yeah, well said. That's the thing. You could look on chain from today till tomorrow. You don't know if a whale's going to step in and want to take some money or give some money. So yeah, that's a very important point.
Yeah, and personally, I was expecting more on this run up now, especially when he tweeted last night that last warning, we may launch. Maybe we are launching during this stream. That would be fun. But so I was expecting more price action, but no, it's not happening yet.
Okay, so the price always comes last, I guess, because I'm seeing this the first time. Last night, there were 498 change in current holders. So 498 wallets that never had HEX are now holding it. That could be less people, but it's still a lot of people in any case.
If we believe the narrative that it's one giant dumper and 497 people bought, that's positive. It's distribution. Of HEX to more in the hands of more people.
And look at this. This is triple digits every day. I remember it was double digits. I was making a big deal out of double digits when we were in like the teens or lower, whatever.
Yep.
You got 4 days ago, 1,140. So price is down over 90%. But, the metrics of like onboarding and new miners are increasing. So maybe you could speak a little bit about that. That's pretty incredible. I mean, that is very indicative of a bright future for a cryptocurrency, I'd say.
Yes, the adoption is definitely working, and right now we have the buzz in the space. People like Ivan on Tech, you've covered that with Prizology quite a lot on your channel. The Biz with Briz, that's my man. I love Prizology.
Salute to Prizology.
And he actually made. Did you know this? He made the official HEX cocktail recipe, the HEX Sunrise, which is like a tequila sunrise, but it has the HEX gradient color in the glass. So he made that on Cabana's show. So no, but what we've been always seeing for the past 2 years is that every day, if you check your Staker app, that there has been more people buying versus people selling. The dollar amount on many days might have been the same, but the ratio is always way more people buying than selling. And as long as that ratio stays, and I'm sure Wills Only has charts on this and stuff, then that's positive, and that's proof that we're moving in the right direction with the adoption. And the fact that these influencers are now, some of them, I'm not too happy actually with, a few they're turning around, but if it's somebody like Ivan on Tech, who's great, like if he lends us, his popularity to get known and get a bit more exposure in the space, I think that is very positive.
Yeah, we're gonna bring up the influencers next, and then obviously the main story is the Pulsechain launch. But first, a word from our sponsor, the DJ Cryptomatic Twitter account. Tell us about. I know you were nuked. How many followers did you have? We got to get you back.
Yeah, that's. I'm already so grateful that within a matter of 2 months, I got back to 1,000. What is it now? 1,492. I mean, I had over 3,500 on my account, and it was an old account from 2007. Really, I've been in Twitter early, so and that I used to dedicate. I'm dedicating my whole online presence to HEX and promoting the Richard Hart projects. I'm not shilling any other coins on my stuff because Richard wants it that way. And again, this is not because people say, oh yeah, we're kissing his ass and dick riding and all of that stuff.
It's called pumping bags.
No, that's no, it's like his product is working and it's great, and it's the first crypto that has worked for me, and I've tried many of them. I've been in Electronium and all that stuff, and nothing ever worked, but HEX worked. And because it does, that buys that loyalty. It's nothing more complicated than that. So, and I know that I only have these thousands followers because of the HEX community. And I feel it would be absolutely horrible if I got my standing in the community because of the Hexicans and then letting the Hexicans down or letting Richard down. That's the same like on my Twitch. Even though I only have 1,500 followers on my Twitch account, because of the HEX community engagement, I'm actually, and I don't mean to brag and rub my shoulders, I'm part of the top 1% live streamers on Twitch.
Ooh.
Globally, out of 8 million streamers. Imagine all these gamers and everybody that's on there, and I'm part of the top 1%. That's absolutely crazy. But that's not because I am that great of a guy or because I can DJ so well. No, that's because of the HEX community giving me that platform. And then what my way of giving back is, of course, that I'm using that popularity and that all that engagement that I have to promote HEX. And I know you mentioned this a couple of times when you say like people are not that good, or they think. How did you say that? That I find that really cool. How you word that. I don't want to paraphrase you.
Like, well, first of all,
that great.
Let me first say that I would not be getting top 1% in Twitch if I were DJing there. That's one. So
I know how to DJ, but I'm not like in the music industry or like some of these other. I'm just a club DJ,
Yeah, no. For example, like I'm at 3,700 followers now. And right now we have 115 people watching, like, and subscribe. People don't understand like how either talented you have to be, or how lucky or whatever. So they kind of maybe get there and they get a little spoiled and they think that it's really all about them, and it's about their talents, but it's not. It's about something that's a lot bigger than us.
Yes.
But at least me. I mean, some people are really talented here. So then I see some of them go and they kind of think that like, and also a lot of the things that I promulgate are really like straight out of Richard Hart's mouth. So like a lot of people, they think it's about them. And I was referring to people that make these new coins, and like you were alluding to how you only promote HEX, and that's part of the reason why I only promote HEX, is because people don't understand how rare it is. Like a coin that withstands the test of time and even does well. Like if you look at the coin market cap snapshot of 2018, none of them came back except for maybe 5 or 6. So it's like just sticking to successful ecosystem, and we're early. It's like people are I don't know, unless like time's starting to move really fast. HEX is in its second cycle, and then there are 2 coins coming out in their first. So why would I want to put my money? Why would I want to allocate it to likely inferior products just out of the odds and stuff like that?
Been there, done that. I thought you were referring to some streamers acting a little bit arrogant.
That too, yes. That
too,
yeah.
Like being little Richards. And because that has been a thing since that first year. Like some of these guys who run Telegram channels or run streams are acting, because Richard preaches to be cocky and you need to own it in a certain way, but he is Richard. Exactly. You are not Richard. Like, there's, I think one job is it to not be assholes really, and help each other out in these ecosystems. And Richard can be like this when he's debating with some Bitcoin maxi on stream, but I don't think many of us have the right to be like that just because we are his followers. So, and I think a few people get that wrong. But then again, lots of young people. It also has to do with life experience and business experience. And so I'm happy for everybody that's young and in HEX. And I mean, if you to be, I wish I was 20 and had had a big HEX bag, and all the life ahead of me. That would be amazing. But so I'm rooting for all the young people. But yeah, I think sometimes you you got to know where you stand, and I think some of them have a bit of a different. Think they are bigger than they actually are.
Yeah, I agree. A lot of people think they're bigger than they actually are, and also it just rubs off wrong because it's not.
Yes.
It's not you. It's like you got to use your tools and your arsenal to your advantage, and trying to. It's like when you're playing the guitar to the wrong key of the band. That's kind of what it is, and it's just there's something very off-putting about it.
Yes.
Or when you're adding the DJ effects to the wrong song, or I don't know. You could probably think of a better analogy than me.
The reggae sound effects on a country show. Yeah.
And not working. I'm not Richard, and I'm kind of awkward. I have that awkward laugh, but I make it work for me, and people kind of like it.
No, you're great.
Thanks. Oh, thanks. And then, okay, fine. So that's that. You guys should all be following DJ Cryptomatic. I want to refresh the page and see more followers. Okay, we got one more. Let's pump those bags, guys.
Yes, please follow me on Twitter. It's at DJ Cryptomatic. So, my Twitter story. So that was where we started. Like I had 3,500, all mostly HEX, and then. Because I'm doing the Christmas special every year. Done it for the second year now. The HEX Christmas special, where it's a big giant 2-hour-long Twitch special gala event where beforehand I'm collecting Christmas shout outs to the community from all the popular live streamers that that we have in the space. And Richard sometimes gets involved in that, and he tweeted out my promotional tweets to promote the stream and stuff. So for him, Christmas, I think it must be because of his family. Like Christmas is very important for Richard. Like that's it's an important thing in his life when that's happening. And I know also from another angle that many people, for them, Christmas is like the hardest time. If they lost people in the family, or if they're going through a rough patch, they just broke up with somebody, then that really hits home during those Christmas holidays. And when we as a community can be there for everybody and put on something special, that's like really the idea behind it. But then, of course, to make that work, I need to reach out to all the streamers for a little 10-second, hey, Merry Christmas to all the Hexicans video clip, and then I'm putting these all together on that Twitch stream. And so I send out DMs to about maybe 100 people, and Twitter was like, "Oh, you are one of these spam bots," and then my whole account got nuked. And so far, I have not really got it back. I have not had explanation why, because usually when you get suspended, you get a report like, "Oh, you made some." I don't know, sexist comments or whatever on this, or racial on this tweet. So I had zero communication. Just I think 3 weeks ago, someone wrote me back, "Yeah, we looked into it. You're not getting your account back." But again, no why? Because I don't think I've done anything wrong besides inviting people to my Christmas party. I mean, like, how can that be? How can that be anything mischievous? So I don't know what's really behind that, but so that's gone, and now I have to rebuild my account. But I'm so grateful that the community already puts me back to 1,500 followers. Probably many in those 3.5 have been dead wood from the last bull run, who may have left already anyway. So maybe this 1,500, this should be where
it's a healthy correction.
This is where it should be at, maybe. But yeah, more importantly is my Twitch account. If people could, I don't like, I get it if you don't want to sit through an hour of my stream. I don't expect anyone to, but please give me, it's like you with your Instagram. Please give me that follow on my Twitch, because Twitch is a pure numbers game, and I'm trying to promote HEX. It's not about me. It's not about the glory. It's to really get the word out to no corners about what we've got going on here. And every follow, every number move really helps with the algorithm there. Oh, we're streaming DJ Vadamex right now from Cincinnati.
I don't know.
You don't have a Twitch. Yeah, you must have a Twitch account and then click on the follow heart that's there. So if everybody could do that. And I know you guys are on Twitch. I know Hexologist, he has 5,000 followers on Twitch, and I'm still sitting at 1.5, which is great. I'm happy for it, but it could be better. So please support my efforts on
support on DJ Cryptomatic so he can support you. It's true. And if you're watching the replay, all the links are in the description. So we have the Twitch, we have the Twitter, and obviously I just linked it in the chat. So everyone, please click it and please follow all the links, because it's important to support people that support your bags. Okay. That's, if you don't want to do it for DJ Cryptomatic, you don't want to do it for me, then do it for you.
Music, do it for you.
Do it for you. Okay.
Thank you very much. That's all it is. Yeah.
Yes. And I guess with that being said, we can get into a thing I've been covering lately is the growing coverage of mainstream influencers. Yes. Something probably you would have never dreamed would happen so fast. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes, it's weird, but also lets me believe that maybe they've been in HEX or whatever all along, you know, and but never been public about it. Especially Martini Guy and Superman. I think those two, which are the UK's biggest influencers, I guess. They've been exposed to HEX very early on, so I would be surprised if they were not actually invested.
Yeah, let me just interrupt you for a second. So, like, as far as a lot of people are asking about Pulsechain, PulseX, and things like that, we're gonna get to that. We're gonna all your moon math and hopium and multiplying on your calculator the
hopium.
Price.
I'm a hopium dealer.
The price times the supply in your wallet. We're gonna get to that in a second. But yeah, sorry. But yeah, this is Martini Guy. So he's one of the biggest crypto people on Twitter. He's got 483.6. Very positive words. So he said HEX is growing. It has outlasted 5 major banks. Congratulations, Hexkins. So you alluded to you think he owns HEX? I'd say, why wouldn't he?
I don't know. I'm watching him since day one, really, since he came on the scene. So and I know he's always been observant of Richard Hart for all this time. So I wouldn't be surprised. But it's great to see. It's great to see.
Yeah. So salute to Martini Guy.
And I think he said on one of BitBoy's shows where he was a guest that he met. I think he said he met someone in the Swiss Alps mountain climbing, and he invested a couple of hundred and made 30,000 from it. Or was it a couple of thousand and made 30 million from it, or somebody? Like he has heard of somebody that he knows about the HEX success story of that crazy run up. So that's what probably prompted him as well to pay more attention to what's going on.
Yeah.
We can only assume, but it's nice to see for sure.
Yeah, Martini Guy, and hopefully BitBoy will jump on board. Do you have like a take on why he's being neutral when he's saying privately? I mean, you saw the crypto Audi. Like
BitBoy, you mean?
Yeah, because you mentioned BitBoy, and BitBoy is on Crypto Audi, and he's saying we're adding coins to our portfolio. We would have never thought we would add to our portfolio in response to our Hexkin. And then he gets on his show and speaks the other way. I mean, that doesn't really say such good things about
I don't like him, never have. I think it was great that Corey got really close touch with him. He was able to stream, and he came onto his channel, which again is great for our outreach to the broader crypto community. But for me also, integrity is very important. And when you say one thing, then you go to they watch the Weekend concert together with Richard Hart, where they had like a lounge, but then like still not acknowledge the success that we clearly have had. I mean, we're outperforming everything out there. Like the numbers are, we don't even need to, the numbers are on our side. So it's clear as day that this is working. So I don't get it after all this time that he's still not behind the idea. So yeah.
So I think
I'm not a fan.
No, I agree with you. I think a lot of it's financial conflict of interest, and then there's also that like their audience conflict of interest, like their audience have a negative view on them. So
yeah,
often the influencer is influenced by the audience more.
Or it's political, maybe with the SEC stuff that we unfortunately have had, and maybe he just don't want to, because that could jeopardize his business. Maybe he don't want to openly be tangled to HEX, but is maybe behind closed doors. I have no idea.
Well, I could even empathize with him because the SEC is going after HEX because they think the influencers are taking money, and he might not have taken money from HEX, but he already is in maybe not the best position. You know what I mean? So maybe we could give him the benefit of the doubt. He loves HEX. He loves Richard Hart. He's just a little nervous. But I guess next up is well, let's get to Ivan because we already touched on Ivan. Ivan, I like this particular one a lot because
being scammed to the upside.
Because he started to sound like the people on Discord Syndicate Wake Up HEX. Like he's starting to talk like them. He's starting to promote things. And this is not, someone like myself tweeting this, or like you, or like Wales Only. This is Ivan on Tech. This is 405,000. Probably one of the biggest, and if not the biggest, he's not the biggest YouTube channel, even though he's huge. He's probably the most well-respected as being a developer, being someone who's brilliant. And he's talking favorably. And I think that's showing a lot of influencers that like, a lot of them are worried that their audience might be upset, but Ivan's talking about it and everything's okay. Their audience isn't leaving them. He's more beloved than ever. So I think a lot of people are starting to warm up to the idea that they could even talk about it, if not talk about it favorably. But yeah, I think it's a very significant historical moment for HEX.
Yeah,
but,
it adds legitimacy to it. Again, with him for years, I'm also watching him since he became big in 2017 when he started, and he was shilling all kinds of projects, and he was always promoting the Bybit referral link to get people into trading. And you could argue that he made money out of other people getting wrecked. So that's why it's not 100% all love like from me personally. I'm always a bit like I know what you did last summer kind of a thing, but then I had this discussion with Funding Jim Gary, and he firmly believes that all of these feelings I might have or sentiments or whatever, that doesn't matter because it's bigger picture and we need to move forward and whatever people.
Yeah, he got mad at me for going at it with Simon Dixon. I don't know if you're aware of
that. Yeah. I saw bits of that. Yeah. Oh, okay. So yeah, Gary then, because he's trying to promote. Also,
I told him I'm sorry. I apologize. He's like, then can you apologize on Twitter? I'm like, I can't. I'm blocked.
But that's maybe where I'm a bit like controversial. I'm not Gary, so I'm like, I remember things, and it's like this. That's also how I do business. Fool me once, okay, but it will for sure not happen a second time. So I have a very strict belief system. What is correct and incorrect behavior when it comes to business. So that's why I'm like, this is, some part of me wants to say, this is nice, but I'm not 100% convinced either. But he has been streaming with Richard a lot. I think they probably are friends, so we shouldn't be like too harsh with Ivan about whatever was in the past, and look forward. Definitely, but it can only, as you say, he's the biggest guy in crypto, so it can only help our popularity, and maybe that is more important.
Yeah, I think I have to agree with Funding Jim on that, because no, and I used to be like thinking like you, but it's like if we're gonna be hostile to these big influencers, then it's gonna be a very uphill battle, because
we shouldn't be hostile, but we also shouldn't be like blindly trusting. That's all I'm saying. No, we shouldn't be hostile.
No, I agree with that. I agree with what you're saying, because no, there are a lot of people, though, not what you're saying, but there are a lot of people that are saying screw them kind of thing. And it's like, you have to, people don't understand how the real world works. It's like these people, they're there, and they could be more taking the CZ approach, and they're not. So there has to be maybe some being grateful. I know they shilled. I don't know about Ivan. I know they shilled like Celsius and Luna and a lot of other bad things. But like, I mean, if you can't deal with people that were involved in that, then you're only dealing with Mexicans.
We have Trevon James, who is the BitConnect guy.
It's true. It's true.
He redeemed himself.
Yeah. Wait, so here's a great follow-up question.
Yes.
So Ivan on tech, you mentioned he shills Bybit, and that's not okay, really.
He used to.
No, he still does.
Oh, he still does.
I watch his show. I like his show. I think we're also similar. Like, we're both kind of goofy and like a little awkward. Like, but I don't know. I relate to him really well, so I really like him. But he is one of the biggest affiliates for Bybit, and Rand Nooner also obviously is one of the biggest affiliates. And obviously we don't condone the leverage trading.
I like Rand Nooner. I like him better out of all these three. I like him the most.
It's interesting. He is really good, and that also is big. And I do like him. It's interesting because we had Rain Man on. I don't know. Do you know who Rainmaker is?
A little bit, yes.
So he did profiling.
Part of Pulsechain team. Yeah.
He did the profiling. So I had him profile a bunch of influencers. You should
check
out
that. I've seen that. You've done that on Saturday. I haven't watched the stream yet, but that was interesting.
Yeah, you got to watch that. So I made sure not to profile any Hexicans except for Richard Hart, but he said very nice things about Rand. So that is interesting. But so these are the biggest like affiliates, for better or worse, probably worse. But do you think that could, and obviously they're holding HEX and they sacrifice their Pulsechain, could that lead to them maybe leaning on these centralized exchanges to list HEX and Pulsechain?
Do we really want that?
That's a good question too. See, that's it. So
for exposure,
do we want that? First of all, do we want that?
Yeah, it's not that easy to answer. I think for exposure, of course, but what is more important to us? Like, it's a philosophical, because we are with HEX, and RG3 always says this, we are not challenging legal finance with our CD product on a blockchain. We are challenging the rest of crypto.
Yes.
So that's a bit of a different approach to all this. And we are not your keys, not your coins, self-custody. It's no middleman to farm your yield. You do everything yourself, minting your own rewards on the blockchain. And the system of these centralized exchanges kind of goes against that philosophy of using crypto, because you're always depending on their, are they like my Twitter? Are they Binance? I'm on Binance. They can shut me down tomorrow, same as Twitter did, and not giving me even a reason to. They can do that, and then how do you like that? The usage, we need them as on and off ramps, obviously, to as a gateway to fiat in and out, but we don't want to be using them like that to trade on. We should be trading on chain, where it's funny if you look at Nomics, the coin ranking site, and you see next to HEX, they give us a 98% transparency approval rating, whereas Bitcoin only has a 50% transparency, because there's all this wash trading inside the exchanges going on. Actually, part of that lawsuit, just saw one of these headlines about Binance that's kicking off today, is that they allegedly, under burner accounts, were trading within their own exchange, which is also against US financial regulations, obviously. So this is the part of crypto that we're challenging, if that makes sense. So I don't know if we want to be listed really on there, because we would be, for the sake of gaining more popularity, doing away with our core principles. So that's, I think, where the conflict is.
See, so being a public figure in HEX, you kind of have to be like a politician. You know how they want to be more moderate, but they
Get
also
the suit on.
they can't, no pursue, but like you have to appeal to your base, which is like very radical, or else if you lose the base, then you're done. I mean, you're not going to win. So it's like you have to walk a tightrope where you want to appeal to the people that are very pro centralized exchanges, because even if you ideologically are disagreeing with them, they matter, and they matter perhaps more than anyone, because those are like the biggest. Those are the people in the Twitter threads. Those are the people in the in the YouTube comments. Those are the people that are really making it happen. So it is an interesting.
But you are saying that if these three people are now the biggest influencers, there are now pro HEX and pro crypto, someone could say, or have an easier gateway towards being listed on Coinbase or Kraken, and say, look, if Ranuner is all, it must be legit, kind of a thing, So that could make that process easier. Yes, I could see that, but it's a whole fundamental question.
It's a very complex and loaded question. Yeah, but a lot of people say one of the big things they say is like, you shouldn't buy HEX. It's not even on a centralized exchange. And then I do the Richard Hart, but you want to get in before it's on the centralized exchange. It's like run the drill. I just think there's so many people that aren't going to touch it, just because honestly, centralized exchanges, as important as they are, it's like they're not really ready for prime time yet. You know what I mean?
I mean, each time there is big market moves, most of them you can't even log into. They're totally overloaded, and they're not ready for world adoption of crypto. That's for sure. That's for sure.
So I think HEX has really increased its adoption by order of magnitudes, though. It would not even be known if not for HEX. So I think while HEX brings what crypto should be in the right direction, I guess what do they say? If you sleep with the horses, you wake up with flies. Like, while we rub off on the crypto world very well, it's a great. Richard Hart's been a tremendous positive influence on crypto and the HEX community. At the same time, maybe you got to get a little dirty if you want to be. I don't know. Thankfully, lucky for me, it's not for me to decide whether or not it's going to get listed on.
All about getting this bag. I mean, yes, we're in crypto to make some money. We shouldn't be, that presumptuous, say we're in it for the tech. We're not. This is.
I say when I'm rich, I'm going to be in it for the tech.
But we want to do it the right way, and that we talked about all these terrible things that can happen, like exchanges can get hacked. Your wallet can get hacked, and that's why I think it's security is of utmost importance.
Yeah, it's incredible. People could say, "Oh, you need a centralized exchange," and I hear that side, but at the same time, it's incredible how far HEX has gone, outperforming everything without compromising at all.
Absolutely, and maybe this is the better way. Maybe
there doesn't need to be, but the question is, will there be? And I actually made the call that I think like a major centralized exchange. Well, we already got MEXC, which is pretty big, but I think we could be looking at like a KuCoin or a Bybit. Not saying I want it, but could you see that happening? I could even see Binance or Coinbase.
I hope somebody legit like Kraken does it. Somebody more legit.
All right.
Than KuCoin. Shout out to KuCoin though.
Yeah.
They've done loads for crypto adoption, as in general. But yeah.
Okay, fair enough. So you think it's going to get it?
You're saying in 5 years from now we'll be listed on every exchange? Is that a future that you see?
I think so, because if you look
maybe
at the
Pulsechain will.
I think
what about
both.
Pulsechain?
I think both, because it's like if people you look at the adoption is kind of it's increasing, it's accelerating. And, I mean, it starts with the influencers, but the influencers influence the industry. And I think if exchanges decide to keep refusing it, I think they're going to get left behind, because it's growing fast. I think it's growing a lot faster than people even realized, and it's hard to see while it's happening. It's kind of like the bottom in crypto. Nobody saw it happening until later. I think it's I've been on text talking about it on the regular. I mean, that guy's one of the most influential people in crypto. So I don't.
No, that's a good take. I can see that. Yeah.
It's hard to imagine.
They don't want to be left behind. I can see that part. Yes.
Yeah. Thanks, man. It's just
hard. What does the chat say?
Yeah, chat. Yes or no?
Chat say yes or no?
Forget about principles. But yeah, I think it's going to happen. I think it's already happening. Honestly, Mexi is big, so. But it's kind of like Bitcoin. It was hard to imagine it happening until it happened. It's crazy the adoption that it received. Yeah. And real quick, so I'm going to skip the Aaron Bennett thing out. But Polygon, which is one of the biggest, blockchains, they tweeted that HEX is most bullish projects on social media. It's happening. It's hard to see now, but I think it's happening.
That's us.
Yeah. But anyways, we got 111 watching. Let me just shill your YouTube channel real quick. Before we're getting up to the Pulsechain, it's literally the next tab, guys. Before I do that, we have to talk about your YouTube channel because we talked about your Twitch and your Twitter. And now you have a YouTube channel, which is in its infancy. It just started.
That's really dead, my YouTube, but I have to put these mixtapes somewhere. So I thought, why not? Because that was also something that was so great about the community, that in those first 2 years, we have so many music artists actually being involved in HEX, and they have made songs about HEX, and there's a lot of hip hop songs, but also there was a girl on the ukulele. It's cryptocurrency. It was that kind of a song. So I believe was the first ever HEX song. A lot about Richard Hart and some drum and bass stuff from the UK. So I thought it would be a nice homage to all these people putting in the effort if I get on my mixing desk and do a continuous mix of only HEX music. And there again, you can see the volume 2 is 2 hours long. Like, which other crypto community has 2 hours of music material, which is also great about their coin? Nobody has that. So, and that's really, I have to upload them somewhere and put them somewhere. So there's not much going on here, but whenever, and I want to continue doing this. So whenever we have a bunch of new songs, I want to come out with the HEX mixtape volume 3. But again, it helps to spread the word a bit on social media. So again, I would appreciate, of course, if people follow that and retweet the stuff, and you can all click the likes and smash the likes, as we always say. That a little click can go a long way to help with these algorithms.
There you go. Great points. So yeah, let's get those numbers up.
What is your Instagram looking?
Oh, the Instagram. Oh,
are you above the 100 now?
Since you mentioned it,
let's shill your Instagram.
Furu.finance 110. Are you on Insta?
No.
You got to get on Insta. Got to get on Insta because they have the reels now, so people just scroll. It's like, are you on TikTok?
No.
Oh my!
I'm old school, man. That's for you young guys.
No,
that would be just another thing I have to check.
No. You have to be on there. I'll tell you why it's so important, because that's where you go viral. You can't get numbers like 30,000, 100,000, a million as a small account on YouTube anymore. It's just not possible. And TikTok, you can. You got to get on TikTok. Especially, it's good for your work too, because there's a huge DJ community on TikTok. You want to get on TikTok, and it's just clip it. You clip it, you put it in 1080 by 1920, maybe a little caption or whatever. It could really go a long way. Like, you could have one video.
What about copyrights though? Are they like hot on?
No, they're very lenient. Music? So it's an interesting thing you say this. It's very funny how like the HEX community is like the smartest people, but it's an older. I mean, it's not as much like that. But when I got in, I noticed they're not so social media savvy. So no, it's like a high IQ community also. It's just like a generation gap. That's why I said like it's harder to go viral. But
it's Boomerville, as Jim Ray Crypto would say.
Well, that's important because the boomers have the wisdom. But
oh my God,
what was I saying?
We're not social media savvy. What do you mean by that?
No, but there was I lost the thought now. But TikTok is where you go viral.
Copyright music.
Oh, yeah. So TikTok is very lenient. And interestingly enough, YouTube wanted to compete with them. So they had to make the shorts copyright rules a lot more lenient because TikTok was eating their lunch. So, yeah, the copywriting, do your research into it, but very lenient. You could add a lot of like mainstream songs to your TikTok because it's only 60 seconds. So, yeah, you got to get on TikTok. DJ Cryptomatic, and you could do that by getting in the TikTok and YouTube Shorts group. This is the last thing I'm going to show before we go to the main story. This group, a lot of big HEX influencers are in there. They have questions about how to make their TikTok better and stuff like that. And you get tips. There are a lot of pros in there, and we've been getting over 100 million views on the combined TikTok hashtag Pulsechain.
I think
33 million.
Group. Yeah, I think.
All right, so
group. Yeah.
All right. So there you go. Got 33 million past month on that. But yeah, enough with that.
Wow.
Let's get onto the main story, which is obviously Pulsechain. The tweet by Richard Hart yesterday was, "This is your warning. Pulsechain and PulseX can launch at any time without warning." So what's your initial thoughts on that tweet? What did you think? It's very
initially I thought, oh my God. We were waiting like for 2 years, and now he kind of launches it out like that, like he's really pushing for it. But then I think I question, are we really ready for it? I was also playing around on the Beacon Explorer, and I was checking my wallets, and like also one thing it says you can check your PRC20 copies, what you have, and like I don't really see them. So what they must be using is like a very old snapshot from last year, or I don't quite like, and this looks to me as if it's not really ready to launch. But hey, if there might also be a bunch of game theory on his part behind that he wants to launch now before a large price action or something like that. It could be some crazy game theory. I'm really a bit clueless at the moment. I'm sorry. I know I'm supposed to be saying something smart about this launch, but I'm really a bit bamboozled at the moment of where we're going.
No, it's interesting you say that, because I did notice that some of my PRC20s weren't copied because the snapshot was from a while ago.
Yeah, like I see some USDC that I for sure once had, but no longer have in my account, for example, and a bunch of other coins are not listed at all. So I don't know, but maybe that's not important. I thought the V3 would be the final with all the bells and whistles, and I'm not really getting that.
So what else are we missing? Because could we say that the snapshot being early is not necessarily indicative of the V3 being ready for prime time or not?
Yes, we can say that. And same as people are saying, why is there none of these limit order functionality on PulseX? But the answer to that is that this has been tested in other versions. It's just confusing to me why I was expecting the V3 to be like the live chain with everything there, that you can like really go crazy and stress test all the functionalities, but it seems to be limited. So, K4K put out this tweet today, which had an old clip from Richard saying that he had this idea at some point last year to just launch, even as long as it's secure, Pulsechain, just launch and have PulseX added later, have a couple of stuff added later. I don't know. It might be good if you could play this clip actually.
Yeah,
for the sake of this conversation. If you go to K4K's Twitter, it should be one of his trending tweets.
Share tabs.
Do you want me to bring it up? But I don't know if I can.
I got it. We'll go here.
And that made me think that K4K might be onto something here.
Where are we at?
Here it's no.
No.
No, this one.
Okay.
No, further up. Sorry, no.
Get into Pulsechain and
Not this. Further up. Sorry.
Further up.
Here, this
one.
This one, yeah.
His largest airdrop is extremely important. If we can have bridges up before then, great. If we can have the liquidity providing Uniswap fork before then, great. But if not, we just launch anyway and add the stuff later. So you can launch Pulsechain before the bridges, add bridges later, and you can add liquidity incentivization later as well. And there's other, it's not a blocking problem. Like, it's not a big deal.
So, and then in this tweet there is this whole, it's like 82 replies, so there's this whole conversation about how ready are we actually. So shout out to K4K, but like this plants the idea that we can just launch Pulsechain for now and add all the functionality later, which is not what we were all expecting after waiting all this time. So again, I'm a bit clueless. Like
Richard never said that though. Like when he tweeted, he never said, "Oh, hey."
Yeah, no, he did not. That's true.
So
that's
maybe it's
people trying to interpret his what is going on. Yeah. Pulsechain and Pulsex can launch at any time.
Could we say there's going to be a V3B?
I hope not. But then again, I'm also thinking that he would not put this out if we weren't really close. Like he's not doing the midish May mistake, if it was one, again, where a developer found a bug and then he had to retract on that. We launched mid-May and that caused the HEX price to tumble, which made all these jokes about the Saudi investors.
Oh my god,
they pulled the trigger. But so I don't think he will do that again. So I really think we are close and I'm hopeful, but yeah, I'm not at the same time not 100% sure.
Interesting. So yeah, I thought after V3 launch we were going to get another like 2-3 months at least.
Yes.
And then he tweets that, and he's not, from what I see, he's not the kind of guy that does those like playing games like, hey, I'm going to say any second now, but really I'm going to do it whatever, or like he kind of just what he says is what you got.
I was the same. I was expecting May, to be honest, because he said May, but I'm not telling you which year, so it would have still been.
He's not like that. I don't know.
Launch in May.
It seemed like that kind of. Maybe I don't know.
But Johnny this coming out, these tweets coming out now, then that's looking like it's closer to.
So I was saying 2-3 months, and now it seems like from these tweets, like weeks.
Yeah.
So what do you think though? Because there are a lot of people that were asking in the chat. Shout out to the chat. They said, when's the launch going to be? So when do you think the launch is going to be?
I'm really bad with predictions like that. Plus, I'm not that technical enough. I know my HEX stuff, but I'm not a developer, so I cannot actually interpret if it's ready or not from what you can see on Pulsechain. Like I would defer to people like K4K or HODLdog or David Feeder. Check out their Twitter, see what they are saying. They are more the technical people I trust. I can just go by what I'm seeing, by observing Richard for 5 years, his behavior. And when I see this tweet last night, I thought, oh my God, we're getting ready to launch this week, but price is not reflecting that. Some of the FUD on Twitter about the performance of the V3 is not reflecting that. So do you think that's why I have a big question mark? I don't know.
So you said earlier though there was the FUD on Twitter. You think maybe that was the reason for the dump? It could be because people were looking at the V3 and they're like, hey, there's no features that we were expecting.
Well, that dumped, but also Bitcoin just dumped. And I know we are not correlated directly, but I always try to think that the whales that we have as actors within the system, they are in fact affected by their Ethereum and Bitcoin holes. So that's for the correlation, you have to think a bit around three corners. Like, it's not directly because we don't have a Bitcoin trading pair, but we have an Ethereum trading pair. And when Bitcoin dumps, Ethereum dumps, and again, the whales who make the moves. It's not the little people. It's the whales who make price. And also the 10 million liquidity has been added today by someone, which is also negative for price performance. It's more liquidity, it goes down. Less liquidity, it tends to go up. That's really what caused it. But I don't know if the negative sentiment towards B3 is big enough for the dump. I don't know. We cannot speculate all these things. It's difficult. It's very, very difficult because this is new. It's not usual HEX stuff, This is all uncharted territory for.
It's uncharted territory for crypto in general. It's like
and we can have all kinds of ideas and try to interpret what Richard is thinking. Maybe this is a game theory that he wants again to flush out more people, because there's also this thing being floated in the community that as soon as it launches, people will dump their Ethereum side of HEX. And if that's going to happen, then maybe you don't want HEX to be very expensive if you anticipate such kind of a move. Like, there could be all kinds of things. I don't intend to dump that personally. I want to hold my HEX on both. I bought more HEX on these Ethereum proof of work forks, which so far has wrecked me a little bit, but that's still the same HEX, and the same Hedron, and it works exactly like the same like the HEX on Ethereum. So that's not a poorer version of HEX. It's the same. So I want to have bags on all these chains.
It's just funny how you answer that, like, because you can't give an answer, and the people so you're saying I'm not an expert. No, you're saying I'm not an expert. I can't give an answer. But it's funny because the people that are experts, usually they can't give the answer because they understand like how complex and complicated it is. And you were telling me all the different variables and like the dump, and it's like it's the dumb people that are just like, yeah, we're getting mainnet in two more weeks. Or like, yeah, let me look at the chart for a second. Oh, yeah, it's looking like HEX could go up to 30 cents by mainnet launch, possibly a little bit of a pullback. It's like simplifying things that are so complicated and just
it's very complicated. It's uncharted territory. And the best thing is to really just be staked and get your popcorn and watch it all play out in front of you. You are too small to influence it anyway. So it will happen how it will happen, and it's important to stay staked, especially during these long drawn out corrections as we just had in Dua. The amount of additional HEX you gained is nothing to joke at, and as soon as the market recovers, and we've looked at the rainbow chart, it's ripe for a recovery, the whole of crypto, and the rising tides lift all the boats, and it will especially lift HEX, and then your bag grows faster and even more because you now have additional coins that you just minted.
Yeah, it's an unbelievable thing.
Yeah.
So I guess what I'm taking from this is just a big I don't know. I'm gonna say so, like,
yeah, and I'm not ashamed to say I really don't know.
It's indicative of your knowledge.
I cannot tell you launch next week or something. I cannot.
Intelligent people respect the unknown. So it's true.
It's true. A famous quote.
No, I actually just made that up.
That's an original Furu Finance.
Better not steal my quote. No, I'm kidding. We've been through that. But yeah, no, because I see the more low IQ people are just like not saying anyone in the community, but I look at TA channels outside the community. The ones in our community are very intelligent people. The TA people are very intelligent. And they also factor in other variables, like they're actually looking on chain. So it's not a simple charting. Yeah. But there has to be a respect of the unknown. But you also have to understand the best way to win it is to buy and hold the right things. So that's some good stuff. A lot of good insight from you as well. But I think the last thing I'd say, and I'd want your take, is that I think people are saying it's not ready and it may not be ready, but I think we're at the point where like Richard Hart has a little bit of a sense of urgency, because when he called 11K and then he said Pulsechain would be around mid-May, it was Bitcoin's at 40,000. He's like, what's the rush? I don't think he was timing it, but it's like, let's try and get in all the things that I wanted to get in, because, time's on our side. That's not really so much the case anymore. I think he's starting to realize that, we're not going 11K, I think. But what do you think?
I think it's also weird that he's not streaming right now. Like, he's very active on, like, there was a time around Christmas, but he also said he was off sick or something, like where he was traveling plus not feeling well. Like, he wasn't streaming and wasn't tweeting. Now, at least we're getting regular updates again on the progress of the Pulsechain. That's positive. And he's pivoted away from the outrage marketing, which is great. That's a big relief, because that didn't really speak to me, but it was also not meant for me. That's what I always say.
It was meant for me.
No, it was it was meant for these people, not yet in HEX. Like, we are already in HEX, so that's not for us, and that's also not for us to criticize. Like, that's not that. If he thinks that is the right strategy to get more exposure and reach a different kind of demographic and different kind of people, and the numbers, he went from 100,000 followers on Twitter to 300,000 now. I don't know what he did on Instagram. So you could argue that this, as much as we couldn't really work with that as older Hexicans, because for us this was like, we're not in this for Lambos or whatever. We want to, this is to build generational wealth and challenge the rest of this corrupted crypto system, really. So what does outrage marketing has to do with that? For us, this didn't work, but it's also not on us to critique that. That's why I say towards all the haters. So again, to your question, I don't know what he's doing, but with the fact that I'm waiting for a live stream, really, to explain more what's going on. And if he starts to live stream, I think then, like, he's very tactical with this. I think then that's really what I'm waiting on as a signal that we're like really, really close to launch, is probably a live stream where he explains all of this to us. It's about time that he speaks to the community.
That's
what I'm missing.
It's nice to tune into us, but it's not. I hope we get a live stream. That's the one thing I wish he would do more. Is the live stream. I think it's important to keep a control of the discourse, because like a lot of what we say comes from what he says. So if you want to keep it up to date, it's kind of like when he live stream for us, broadcasters, okay, for us people that it's kind of like a software update, where we can start changing the rhetoric.
And if he takes off the leash and the control, all you see is infighting between the different factions within the community.
So hopefully he'll do that, but obviously he's a busy man.
He is
And so there's one more thing I wanted to shill, and then would you have a few minutes just to take from the chat, because I wasn't mentioning the chat because I felt like it would get in the way of the flow. But are you squeezed for time?
No, I'm okay. I could still do a few more minutes.
All right, we got a few more minutes. First thing we wanted to do was the Discourse Syndicate channel. This is where your show is. I'm linking this in the chat. Guys, 94 watching, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. And then over here,
lost 20 people. I was too boring. You see?
No, I think it's because no. It's because Hexologist.
Hexologist not.
And everyone is going to go over to his show.
You can't hang with that.
No, he's a legend.
Discourse Syndicate, which is obviously the original. That's the original channel, guys.
First HEX channel I subscribed to.
First HEX channel, and it's RG3 and Hexologist started it together, and then Kinetics joined them a couple of weeks in. And the idea originally was to, get most of the HEX streamers under one umbrella and sort of channel our efforts that in combination we get more views and a better results from the algorithm on YouTube. So that kind of has worked. So you have on Tuesdays the Australians, they call it the HEX Late Show. That's every Tuesday. Peter actually does a Slovak stream every Sunday night. You see here, that's the most recent one. That's every Sunday. So every day, really, there is a stream on the Discourse Syndicate. There's a Spanish one on Friday, and then of course the FN Hangout with the captain. That's the main HEX show where all the magic started. And in that first year, actually, Richard has been a part of this show a couple of times to really get the community efforts off the ground there. And so we split up the Wake Up Show, which used to be on Tuesdays and Thursdays, where I'm part of. And then Das Baum, he wanted to step away and not having to deal with two shows anymore. So he's really running the ship on Tuesdays for Wake Up Hacks with the original crew, and Papa Bone and myself, we took over the Thursday because we didn't want to lose that spot, because we also get around 80 to 100 people watching every week. So we got a bunch of very loyal fans, and we try to give it a different spin with a bit more comedy if something funny comes our way, but also cover Hex news and what's going on in the community. That's every Thursdays. And you will be our next guest this week.
Yeah.
I'm going to have Furu Finance on What the Hex this week, guys, on Thursday. So don't miss it.
Don't miss it. You guys better be liked and subscribed. It's incredible. I that was the first Hex channel I was subscribed to. I still watch shows regularly. I love the Wake Up Hex show. I love Das Baum. I remember seeing Das Baum give it to like one of those and during those like one of those debates, like he was just giving it to the guy. That was awesome.
Yeah, he doesn't back down. We call him the Vulcan because he's a Star Trek fan. But like he's not that open showingly his emotions. Like I'm way more emotional than him. I get really angry about stuff sometimes, but he always keeps his demeanor, and that's why we call him the Vulcan mind. But he's great. Yeah, he's also from Germany, so he's running Tuesdays, and Papa Boner and myself, we are on the Thursday.
Papa Boner was why I got my hardware wallet. I remember I was listening to the Telegram live chat, and like someone called like
voice chat. Mm-hmm.
Someone called like I have my MetaMask on my phone, and he just gave it to him. I don't even have to say what he said. You could already imagine.
I admire the patience that he has sometimes with these
I'm thinking like, it's a good thing I didn't call and ask.
But he even takes it a step further with the security, because he not only doesn't want any hexagon to get hacked on their coins, but he thinks a bit around the corner, even that usually what happens when a wallet gets hacked, the hackers immediately dump the coins on the open market. So in a way, with all his security efforts, he's protecting the price, if you will, because he doesn't want hackers to dump on our heads. So everybody should support what he's doing.
Yeah, and you support that by subscribing to the Discourse Syndicate. Link is in the chat, and link is in
the original Hex channel.
Yeah, 100%. And I guess we can take a few chats. I got to get going soon, but what happens to the price from Mike James? Shout out Mike James. On testnet, I thought liquidity was going to be added after 48 hours. On testnet V3? No, that you're talking about the mainnet, right? I don't know. DJ Cryptomatic.
I think he means the bridges, that the bridges are going to be open. I'm thinking of it like a bridge to the castle. The bridge is going to be opened 48 hours after launch. But yeah, as you say, this is mainnet. On testnet V3, there are no bridges.
All right, let's see if there's any good questions.
That's why the price doesn't matter. I've seen a ratio of 1 to 5 Pulsechain versus PulseX. It's like 5 PulseX coins for one Pulsechain coin. That was a trading ratio. So I'm all happy if that becomes true, but that's, of course, it's all moon math. We need to see it in the real life, real world, real environment.
Yeah, whatever's happening here is not so indicative of what's going to happen. Okay, question for you, DJ Cryptomatic. If an average 9-to-5 worker makes minimum wage, what's the best way to go about this? Buy what I can, or is there a number I should aim for to get good returns?
Buy what you can and build a staking lab. First of all, get a hardware wallet. This is number one. And then buy what you can. And then I think the best strategy now is, after knowing more about all the staking and all these functionalities, it's probably the best to amass a good number that you can or that you're happy with. And then with all that HEX, build out a 15-year-long staking ladder. And people are, the OGs got in early. If you are getting in now, you are still early. And it's also this, the fundamentals of HEX, it's this build to pump, as they say. What is meant by that is that the Pulsechain, I'm getting lost now. We should close the stream. The T-share rate, not the Pulsechain rate, the T-share rate is increasing every day. So you never get a better deal accumulating T-shares today than yesterday. So that's why people shouldn't wait too long. Like if you wait a month or 2 weeks, that's fine, but you shouldn't wait a year to start staking, because that rate on the daily always goes up. So I think there are bonuses the longer you stake and the more HEX you stake. So it's probably a good advice to amass a certain amount of HEX, and from that build a yearly staking ladder. That you've always got something coming out.
It's good, because a lot of people always they say, like, is this amount enough? Is this amount enough? It's like, what may seem like not enough now is likely going to be way more than enough in the future. And the example is Bitcoin. If anybody asked, is this amount of Bitcoin enough? Back when Bitcoin started, whatever they said, at this point, it is enough.
But one should have a long-term mindset. Like, this will not be generational wealth next year, but it may very well be in 5 or 8 years. Like, you should have a longer time horizon. It's not get rich quick. It's getting rich slow.
Exactly. And people should be asking more. They should be asking less. Is this amount of HEX enough? It should be, I want to wait for 3 years. Is that enough? Those are the questions you should be asking.
That's the question, But salute to King Troop.
Salute
Appreciate
to you,
that.
100%. And I guess one more question is, what do you think the PHEX to Pulse trading ratio would be pre-bridge?
What do you think the PHEX? Oh, the Pulse version of HEX to Pulsechain trading ratio. No idea. No idea. I mean, Richard always said he doesn't want to see cheap HEX anywhere. And from what we know, this automated market maker bot, its job is to make that parity happen for the HEX on the various chains. So it all depends how Pulse is performing, really. So I wouldn't know, but people are thinking they can scoop up some cheap Pulse HEX, and they might be disappointed. I mean, if that's the case, I will also scoop up some. But my expectation from what Richard has mentioned on various streams is that will not be the case.
All right, there you go. Some good stuff, and obviously, I again want to thank you for coming on. It was obviously a pleasure, and hopefully we get you back soon.
Thanks for having me. I hope I haven't disappointed you.
No, not at all.
With some of my ramblings, like, I'm just very passionate about HEX, and I really believe in it. And then I'm also not faking it. Like, when you look at me, that's what you see is what you get. I spoke a lot with Crypto Heartbeat about this in Las Vegas when I met him last year, that it's authenticity. That's what people are looking for. It's not the bravado, it's not the moon math. It's like be authentic, and that's at least how I try to play it all the time.
Yeah, and no, it definitely was. People felt the authenticity. We got a lot of people tuning in for you, and hopefully people tune in to me on Discord Syndicate on Thursday.
This coming Thursday, yes.
Thursday, 11 a.m. Eastern, right?
It's 4 p.m. Central European. Okay. Yeah, it might be yes, 11 a.m. Eastern. Yeah, that's
all right.
We haven't even. I had so many questions about you being from New York City. But maybe we can cover that on.
Yeah, no, we're gonna go deep into that. So I might not be streaming then on Thursday. Then I guess we'll just because it'll go straight into my 12 p.m. So
okay, well, it's a 1 hour format. We always strictly keep it to.
No, you could go over
1 hour. Not on Discord Syndicate, because whatever we can fit in that 1 hour. But I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah, me as well.
With you.
Me as well. And Agenda 69, thank you very much for the $2 donation. Very much appreciated.
Agenda 69, big moderator on my Twitch channel. So thank you for tuning in over here. People follow me around.
Yeah, and make sure you follow all the links in the description.
Yes, Twitch,
for
please.
DJ Cryptomatic. Should we link Twitch one more time?
Link one more time. Even if you don't watch the show, please give me that follow. It helps. It helps tremendously with my HEX shill efforts.
Right. Get on the Twitch. Also get on my Instagram at furu.finance. All the links are in the description. We're linking it over here. I will see you guys tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern time, and I will see you on Discord Syndicate. Everybody go over to Hexologist now and have a great rest of your day.
Hexo, yes.
So.